No.
Okay. So I wanted to tell you about some time in my life when I really was in an emotional disaster, more than in one emotional disaster. I basically had so much going on with my new marriage. After some time, it always looks different than at the beginning honeymoon, you know. And all of a sudden, I found myself within 300, I mean, maybe 289 or something, people of this Greenwood family. And I was the only one. I was the smallest one and the whitest one. Everybody was African American. And there were so many uncles and aunts, you cannot believe it. I never understood how many family members. I never even got she's the nephew of the cousin and the sister of the son of the daughter of the this and of the that. And all of a sudden, because I was the doctor, I had to take care of everyone. I worked so hard, I overworked. And I fell to bed tired, thinking, what did I do? I married into a family and I'm the caretaker of everyone. Of course, I was not emotional intelligent. And I thought it's all my environment and, you know. So I saw someone. Meanwhile, I was with 3 people leading a meditation and therapy center. And all day long, I was busy. And every minute in lunchtime and every minute in the evening, I was helping some auntie who was actually ready for the mental institute, but they didn't want. The family was too proud. So here I was, and I had to wash, feed 3 of them. So this person who I said, so I'm not getting out of this by myself. I need some help. I need to ask somebody for some input so that I can get out of this tremendous emotional overwhelm. I was crying every day. I was so stressed every day. I was just maxed out. And somebody said, go over there to Gitesh. So I went over there to this person who called themselves a consultant. And this consultant did some ambiguous things with me. I told him about how stressed I am and that I'm so frustrated of not getting to do my own work, you know, my own manuals, working on the next course, but busy taking care of the family. And he said to me, Dr. Doris, don't be frustrated. I thought, what a strange response, and I continued to speak. And I said, and then at the end of the day, I see how little I got done of what I really want to get done. And everybody else and all emergencies and all urgencies took the better out of me. Hi, Dr. Sutinta, you are so welcome. We were waiting for you.
I was there, but I on the video now.
And so, Gitesh, I'm telling a story about a consultant in 1987 in Seattle, it was. And he said, Dr. Doris, don't be disappointed. And I said a little bit more about the situation. I mean, I paid for the session. He was my consultant, yes. So I told a little more. And then I said, and then in the evening, when I go to bed, I feel really, really sad. And sometimes I go to sleep with tears in my eyes. And lo and behold, by now, you know it, Gitesh would dare to say to me, Dr. Doris, just don't be sad. It's not worth it. By that time, I noticed that I felt worse than before I spoke to Gitesh. what is he saying to me? Only like, don't be disappointed, don't be frustrated, don't be sad. He has not helped me at all with any solution, with anything. So this was called consultancy, and then he had a PhD in psychology. I left and I was literally thinking more about this. There was one more thing he told me. He told me, from who did you learn this? From your mother. And then guess what? He said, don't be like your mother. I mean, I was thinking more about my mother than ever before. I was getting more frustrated, even, and more disappointed, even more sad about the whole situation. And I remember it was at least 14 days that I felt worse than before I met with this person who called themselves a consultant. Meanwhile, I was taking up a counseling training. It was 3 months, 1 month, then some time in between where you would apply and take session, then part 2, 1 month. So between part 2 and part 3, we had clients and we were supposed to give to one client 10 sessions. There was an internship. All the counselors, 26 of us, came and brought all their clients. My client was Karen. And Karen, we had such a good relationship. I did everything I could to help her. Every session reached at a very deep point, and I was very proud that she said yes to come to this event. So each of the 26 counselors brought one client who would say, yes, I want to learn more. This is for free. I will learn. So I'm coming. So Karen would walk like this, and she had to walk up the stairs to the stage. And then she sat down like this. And I was here in the 3rd position, and then over here were 6 of our master psychologist trainers, the trainers of the counseling course. So here was one of the trainers who I really was she was fantastic. She was simply fantastic to me. And I was sitting there going, wow, now I'm going to learn. I'm going to learn. Tanya looked at Karen and said, what did you think was your difficulty? And Karen meant, huh? She looked up and she started to breathe. And I noticed, wow, something is happening here. And then Tanya said, maybe what you thought was your emotional difficulty is actually just a signal for you to do something differently. Karen looked up. Her shoulders were in a different position. Her head was in a different position. Her breathing rate was deeper. Now, she didn't smile, like smile. Her mouth corners changed a little bit, but so much more than all the 7 times 1 hour session I gave her before in that whole month. And here I was, and I went, wow, these questions that Tanya asked were really, really interesting. Very interesting. So this part of the internship was over. All the clients left and said, thank you for all the things they learned. And Karen, I needless to say, after Tanya spoke to her, she walked down the stage more upright than she ever was in my sessions. So I really noticed this physical change that happened with just those few questions that Tanya asked. So the internship was over, and we would, all the counselors to become counselors were sitting there on stage with the trainers, and we got to ask questions. And again, I was such an eager student. I said, Tanya, what did you apply? I mean, how did you know to ask questions in this way that created such a big change in my client, Karen? And Tanya said, I don't think people have problems. And I don't think people need fixing. People just need to learn how to reorganize their patterns of thinking. And I went, wow, that's amazing. I mean, to be honest, not immediately. My first response was, what? I mean, here I am in a psychological counseling training, and every day we learn disorders, psychological problems. We went even into psychological, borderline psychiatric problems. And she says she believes people don't have problems. That was my first, just. But then I just went, wow. All that people need to learn is to reorganize their patterns of thinking. She said many, many more things. One thing she said that I remember until today is always hold the other and yourself at the highest, regardless of the behavior. And again, I thought, oh, I have been thinking of people who have depression. Needless to say, Karen came to me diagnosed with depression, anger disorders, fear, all many different, fear of height, fear of light, fear of dogs, fear of phobia, fear of phones, fear of gadgets. I mean, fear, there's so many fears. So many people came with so many fears. I remember one lady I helped who had an elevator. I mean, she was shaking when she was in some room that was where the roof was too close. So I learned about all of this, and I thought these are problems. But now what this Tanya is saying is they are just to be reorganized and hold the other, regardless of their behavior, always at the highest. Wow! I thought, I want to learn more about what she knows. She said many more things, but let's keep the story short. Time is going so fast. So off they went. The counselor said goodbye. They had to rush to their, I believe it was the bus to their hotel. They all stayed in a hotel. And I was that eager of a student that I literally ran after her. I just knew I need a little more. I needed, this is not enough. And I said, Tanya, Tanya. She said, I'm leaving. And I said, what did you learn? What is it that you studied? And she shouted back, emotional intelligence. And that was in 1987. And it was the first time that I heard this word. And I went, what? And she said again, emotional intelligence. And then she said that word, neuro-linguistic programming. I tell you later, if you are interested what that is. But this, I put it on a scrap paper, and I really was for quite some while in what you could call disbelief. Emotional intelligence? That you got to be kidding me. I mean, emotions and then intelligence, it doesn't match. It doesn't fit. You know, people having this high amount of disorders, and then you would call that, how can you put the word emotion and intelligence together? I just did not get it. But because I was so amazed by Tanya, my teacher, I kept that scrap note in my, I remember exactly the jeans. And I kept that scrap note in my jeans for quite a while, just walking around. Just, you must think about that. This was in 87, before Google. So I was not like going home and then what you would do today. I was literally, it was like a trance. Emotion. She has learned what is called emotional intelligence. So finally, in Seattle, like in many places in America, I believe in everywhere except here in Goa, is a biological health food store, and people would put their little cards and yoga. And Dr. Suchindra, you do yoga, right? Yoga classes, stretching, healing, acupuncture, acupressure, naturopathic healing, and tarot reading and everything. And in the middle of that board was emotional intelligence, Raina Greenlay. Whoa, I canceled everything in the rest of my day, went in my car, drove up to this Green Lake address in Seattle and knocked at her door. On her door was a little sign, neuro-linguistic programming. I was so excited. I think it was one of the most highest excited moments of the total of my life. I could just feel something is happening here. Something is about to open up for me. That's going to be amazing. And it was. She spent 1 hour with me because I had so many questions, and it ended up me signing up for a 16-day training with her. And it was a training in emotional intelligence upon the skills and approaches of neuro-linguistic programming. In the first 2 days, the first weekend, it was stretched over weekends. In the first weekend, I was still sitting there with my big family, husband, Auntie Minnie, Uncle Theodore, and all my people's problems. And I was waiting until I could raise my hand and talk about my problems. And I remember that nobody talked about their problem. Nobody. The way this training was led was, how can we overcome fear and anger? How can we be stronger than what limits us? And how can we be in greater control of our internal dialogue and our inner pictures? How can we be in greater control of our internal dialogues and our internal pictures and movies? I don't need to tell you. I came out of these 2 days and my life completely changed. I simply put myself out of this locality because I was in the middle of the big house with the family and the uncle and the aunt. So I simply took some place outside, not even very far, maybe 30 minutes away with the car, where I had my quiet. It was a little place with people with the same from the meditation center. And it was the answer. I still loved my husband, even there were so many problems. I was still taking care to some degree of 8 Mini and all the things that happened there. But I found my center. I found my power. I came back to who I really was. And I went from then on studying until today about emotional intelligence and neuro-linguistic programming. Welcome to this event, Overcome Fear and Anger with Emotional Intelligence. And please, a big hand for everyone who has made it here tonight. You are so welcome. You are so welcome. Madhavi is finally arrived. Very good. And Varda is there. Would you kindly please let me look for a small moment so that I know who I understand people for free webinars enjoy being anonymous. Thank you, Pooja. Varda, may I see you for just a moment, please? And Raja Lakshmi. Can I see your picture for just one moment, please?
Hello, Dara, Varda.
Hi, Varda. Hi, Raja
Hi,
Lakshmi.
Raja. Welcome.
Hi, Raja. Can we say Raja or should we say Lakshmi?
Can you see me?
Yes.
We can see you. Can you see us?
Some image is coming. I couldn't see you properly. Yeah, I could see you right now. Thank you.
Okay, right now you can see us. Very good, Raja Lakshmi. Still waiting for Dara. Varda.
Hi, Dara.
Hi, Dara. Thank you so much. Thank you for being here. Yes, you better stay with your eyes on the street, please. Oh, my. Varda.
Varda, are you here?
Welcome.
Varda.
Varda, Varda.
Hello.
I would like to introduce my co-trainer, wonderful, amazing Layla Bakhtiari, who is a trainer, and she's an emotional intelligence facilitator and trainer, and she's an NLP master coach and EI coach, and you can think of another few titles, all her, and she's going to be with me tonight. And then there's Hannah D, who also is just to become a trainer and very knowledgeable in emotional intelligence, a certified happiness coach. And yes, I'm so honored to have such an amazing team with me. Conscious Solutions,
you
our
so
certification organization, has now 8 trainers we have with us, and we are growing and growing. Parul is here. Hi, Parul.
Hi.
You are so welcome. Can I see you just for 1 minute, please?
For sure.
Oh, that's so nice.
Hey.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Welcome. And we have Dr. Anusho
Yes.
Arora. Can we see
Hi,
you?
nice to
Dr.
meet all of you.
Anush. Yeah.
Anshu?
Anshu. Yes.
Anshu. Dr. Anshu?
Okay. So let's
Hi, Dr. Gregory, I'm there.
hi.
Hi, yes. Can we see you?
Hey, Anju.
Yeah, there's some network issue. I won't be able to join by video, but you can hear me, right?
Yes,
Yes.
nice, Anju. Good, good, good. You are doctor of what?
I'm basically a trainer and a media academician. I teach in a university.
On media.
Yes, I teach media related subjects, yes.
Okay. And Dr. Sudhindra, may I, you are a yoga teacher, and what else are you a doctor of, please?
A BAMS in yoga.
Ah, wow. Amazing, amazing. So good to
Bravo.
see you, Pooja, welcome. And Sarah is joining us as well. Very, very good, very good. So let's look at this, the following. And please, Layla, let's do this together.
Yes, please. Would you? Yeah. I will follow. So basically, what we are going to learn in emotional intelligence course is we are learning about different parts of our brain. As a human being, we have 3 different parts in our brain, which each one is responsible for some activities or some responsibilities that our physical body and our emotional body is involved. Dr. Doris, please.
And so when we experience what is called fear or anger, our limbic brain is receiving blood. The blood flows to the limbic brain, and the response of shouting, swearing, rushing, flushing, heightened heartbeat, heightened heart rate, feeling bad is initiated by what is called the limbic brain. Can everybody grab here with your hand and please say, this
Yes.
is my limbic brain.
So just touch back of your head and state that this is my limbic
is
brain.
My limbic brain. So,
This
Dr. Sudhindra and Dr. Anshu, please let's allow for this short evening to make it very, very simple. Needless to say, there is so much more about the brain, but it's really cool how emotional intelligence brings it together just like this. Because now, Layla.
So this part is the part that is called neocortex. So just
Everybody,
say it.
can you say, this is my
Neocortex.
neocortex.
So this is the place that we are differentiated from animals. This is where the creativity comes. And this is where our logic comes and our emotions. So again, one more time, please hold the front of your brain and repeat with me. This is my limbic brain.
Neocortex.
And this is my neocortex. Thank you.
And the neocortex is the biggest in humans compared to any other creature in the world because we have language. Long story short, we humans are supposed to use our neocortex. We are supposed to use language to get out of the animal brain and get our blood flowing into the neocortex, because that is the place where you can do metacognition, simply recognition, simply stepping back, taking a breath, and not reacting like the animal. The animal has no choice. Somebody comes into the territory and it will go, but
This
guess
is
what?
mine.
This is mine. You, or hunting. But guess what? We are not supposed to do that. Otherwise, we would only have a limbic brain. We are supposed to use what is called neocortex, our metacognition, our recognition, our ability to, let's make it simple, talk to ourselves. So now, let me ask you. We
Ayushi,
do
do you
this
have a
later.
question?
So, Ayushi, you have
has
a question?
Yes.
I just wanted to ask you, is prefrontal cortex a different name for neocortex, or prefrontal cortex and neocortex are different?
There's different parts to the neocortex. Prefrontal is just one part of it. Midbrain is also one part of it. Actually, communication ability is also part of the midbrain, but altogether, to make it simple, we can call it. And the amygdala, if there's one more thing to mention, yes, Layla, because we said 3, it's the amygdala, which is as big as an almond, and it's the emotional brain, which literally, when we have fear all the time, or when, you know, at that time when I was working 12, when I was running a meditation center, feeling so responsible about all the people taking courses and blah, blah. I was responsible. Plus, I felt responsible for uncle and aunt who, you know, so my amygdala was swollen. Whenever we are in situations where we crank out those stress hormones every day, the amygdala literally gets bigger, which she's not supposed to be. Because we are supposed to let the blood flow, everybody. I'm committed to let my blood flow to my neocortex. Can we say that together? I'm committed to make my blood flow
to give my
into the
blood to the neocortex,
which is the least. Being aware of the emotion and stepping back, being able to just interrupt, take a deep breath and not act like animal, not react. And here are some emotions that most people would call bothersome emotions. And we are not going to read them out loud. Can everybody read them for themselves, please? So now look at Anushi, Dr. Suhindra, Pooja. You look a little stressed and serious. By just reading these words, isn't it? Because what happens, very quick look, when we look at the brain, so you read the word, but what does it do? It's resembling. It's resembling. It's making a short experience. The brain is so, our brain is so amazing, the neocortex. And it's making such short snippets like, you know, mini movies so fast. So with each of those, but guess what? We're not going to spend time here. We will just for a moment look at, so what happened to me when Gitesh said to me, Dr. Doris, don't be frustrated. Don't be disappointed. Don't be sad. Yes, Ayushi, you're getting it. What happens?
Unmute, please.
I mean, our mind doesn't listen to the don't. It's definitely to focus on frustration, irritation,
and that's what
everything.
happened to me. That's why I said, and I'm paying for this. I feel worse than before. Yes, Dr. Suhindra.
The mind cannot understand don't, it only understand the word frustrated and disappointed.
Yes.
So automatically it get into the frame of disappointment, frustration, everything.
Yes.
And there is no solution in it.
Yeah. And it makes a picture. More than that, a full experience, full nano experiences. So I walk away being more frustrated, more disappointed, more sad than ever before. And then now, again, we let you read it yourself. We don't read it out loud today. Ah, look at Pooja. She is smiling. Dr. Suchitra is looking very differently. So by just reading those wonderful emotions that most of us want more in our life. Can I see hands? Yes? So as soon as you just begin to speak about it, as soon as you just mention it, something different happens. So in my first 2 days of emotional intelligence training in 1987 in Seattle, I didn't get a chance to talk about my problem. The problem was not gone, but I walked out of 2 days finding a brilliant solution of getting myself out of this area that was burning, that was full of stress and problems, and changing the total of my life, being so aware that it had to do not with what I learned, because what I learned in the counseling training was exactly the same approach that Gitesh had, which is don't be angry, don't be fearful, don't. So this is what made me study emotional intelligence and the wise use of language more and more. So the transform of, for example, being frustrated is something like accept and move forward. The transform of something like disappointment is appreciate what you can do. Don't focus on what you cannot do. Focus on what you can do. You did help people today. You did serve this Auntie Minnie. You did help people at the meditation center today. Now let's look at how we take care of the rest of it, right? So the third sentence here, instead of being sad, focusing on creating solutions that work. And that general, I mean, look at these three sentences. They are not very specific, are they? But as you speak in this more intelligent way, you more emotional intelligently guide your brain. Say what you want to think about. It's as simple as that. Can we say that together? Say what you want your brain to think about. Say what you want to attract. Say where you are going. Don't look back where you are coming from. Say where you are going. Is this a good idea? Can you say that? I'm focusing on saying and experiencing where I am going, not where I'm coming from, because we are all coming from disaster. Come on. And everybody can think of it. And there is no value in focusing on it. I'm not saying, let's say I checked with Dr. Suhindra and Dr. Anush to make sure there's no psychiatrist here. But let me say it anyways, because mental disorder and psychiatry is actually a very liked topic of mine. Still yet, I need to learn so much more there. And psychiatry and emotions go hand in hand, needless to say. And to say what is a disorder is also a mere matter of interpretation, because good news in emotional intelligence, we don't believe that. I mean, I'm not saying that there's some severity, what would be the word, Layla, to depression. It's not that we are saying depression doesn't exist, but depression has a pattern. Every single person, I'm doing this since 35 years, and Layla is doing it since many years now too. Of course, we get lots of people come to us into the coaching session with what is called depression. It's all the same. They get stuck in looking at the negative past. And they literally, in neuro-linguistic programming, we learn about the IQs, because your eyes are moving according to what you are thinking. And everyone who's diagnosed with what is called, we don't quite believe it, depression, cannot look up to the right. It's an inability to create a positive future. Now, again, I'm not saying this is the cure. There's more to it. And it's not that many who have what is called that need special attention, special treatment, and all of that. But letting them talk about the negative past is not helping. 100% guarantee. Who agrees?
When you focus on problems, problems become bigger.
So when somebody comes to you and says, I have this and this fear, please don't say, okay, describe the fear. They're going to sit in front of you shaken, and you made them shake. Anxiety, so many people will come to somebody who has studied emotional intelligence, and they talk to you about their anxiety. Now, what are you going to do? Puja, you are already advanced. What are you going to do? Or what are you not going to do?
You walk in the emotion and you walk out, because
yes,
it's not going to be lasting.
Nice one. Nice one. How do we do that?
Observing my
Should we
breath.
do it, Layla?
Observing my
Excuse me?
breath.
Should we do it?
There is any, yeah. And there
Observing
is any
breath,
new
Suhindra,
people
yes.
joining us.
Okay, let's
Ramya.
stand up. Let's stand up. And let's do, as we have Dr. Suhindra with us, who is into yoga, let's
Yeah.
do what is called emotion yoga.
Yeah, go.
If it's possible for you to stand up, we always ask when we do our trainings to have Blaze to move around, because we want, even if it's an online training, part of the emotional intelligence in August is online and part will be on site in Dubai. So when you walk around and you allow your body to guide you, let's just all together step. Pooja, could you call a wonderful positive emotion? Any of them?
Could you please unmute yourself and
Our
participate? Thank
wonderful
you.
positive emotion would be laughter.
Laugh.
Laughter! So step into laughter. Everybody step. It's yoga.
Step into laughter.
Laughter.
Laughter. Ayushi, laughter. That's so nice, Dr. Sandra. It's laughter. Amazing, Hanadi, Pooja.
Pooja seems so dedicated that I'm laughing just by looking at her. Oh my God.
It's ridiculous, isn't it? Huh? Okay, let's step out.
Step out, comes out, shake it off. Shake it, shake it, shake it. And now let's go to a negative emotion. Dr. Suhendra, unmute please and suggest one negative emotion, please.
Anxiety.
Anxiety. Let's step in.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm so nervous. It's too much work to handle.
God, oh my God, oh my
Oh my
God.
God, oh my God. This is too
Nowadays,
much.
it is of uncertainty. Oh my God, the future is not certain. Oh my God, something could happen.
This is too much to handle. Oh my God.
Believe me.
No,
Oh,
I need a break. I need a break.
I will get corona.
Oh no. Oh no.
Oh.
There's
So
no more
consciously
time
step
left. Oh
into
my
this. Yes, Parul is laughing. Yes. So consciously step into this, because it is ridiculous now when you think about it. But please step into it. We are not telling you not to feel emotions, because it does not work. In emotional intelligence, we embrace the emotion that bother us and we simply step into them. So you step into them, and now would you please take your knees up and step
Come
out.
out and shake it off.
Over there is that anxiety emotion. I'm here. I'm
That's the
not
anxiety there, and I am here.
I'm not here. I'm here.
I am here.
It is
I'm not
something
there.
swirling around in me. I can step into it and I can step out of it. Yay! And Parul, because you
That
are
was a
smiling
deep
so
breath,
nicely,
Ayushi.
would you please choose another positive emotion? Let's continue the emotion yoga. Just like in yoga, you have a position you have a stretch. And you stay there for quite a while, don't you? Until it really hurts. And next time you stretch, you can stretch further. So as we build our neural pathways to step into the positive and negative, resourceful and unresourceful emotions, we become more emotional intelligent. Now, Parul, name a positive emotion we all share together now.
Okay. Love.
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 Oh,
Oh,
I am feeling love. Now say it to yourself. I am
I am
feeling
feeling
love.
loved. Mm.
I am feeling
I am full of love.
I am feeling love.
I am breathing love.
I am
Breathing
breathing
love.
love.
I am sharing love.
I am sharing love.
I am
I
sharing.
am
I
in
am
love.
receiving love.
I am sharing love with one person, with many people in this moment, with everyone. I am love.
I am love.
I am love.
It's wonderful to be in love. Such a beautiful moment when you
That's
feel
beautiful, Layla.
someone's love towards you.
Love.
So lovely. Ah,
This is amazing.
love.
Wow, so much
We have
love.
different types of love.
Thank you, Parul. So now as we step out, now tonight we have
out,
to
shake it off.
a little bit move forward. However, what you will do in the emotional intelligence training is we will do many more emotion yogas, because the more emotion you have consciously stepped into and out of, the higher your intelligence and the higher your ability to step in and out, of course, will improve. So now when you said love, can you for a moment watch your body? What happened to your facial expression, to your breathing, to your heartbeat?
Everything got regenerated.
Say that again.
Everything got regenerated.
Rejuvenated from before, yes, rejuvenated, and then Parul,
you
your
were
smile was
smiling?
obvious, yes. What were you aware in your physiology, Parul?
I think it's a lot of joy.
Mhm.
Joy, and then Ayushi, but in your body, how were you aware of it?
Maybe some good vibes.
Where?
Right.
Can you show us where in your body you felt it or experienced
Ayushi,
it?
can you give a physiology detail?
Maybe on the
Honestly,
top of my
I
head.
find it really hard to even say that I love myself. I'm working on it, but
Uh-huh.
it's like really hard.
But it's hard, but how about yoga is hard too.
It is just
So
a little
continue to
stretch.
say, I love myself more and more. Can you say that? I'm in process of loving myself more and more. We
more
can all
and
say
more.
that, yes.
Yeah.
I see language
I
in
am.
intelligent. I am in process of loving myself more and
Myself,
more. Can you
right.
say that, Ayushi?
Yes.
That
Can
would
you
be
please
easier.
lead us to say it?
I said it, and I think whenever I say this, every morning I read this like exact same statement every morning. So I feel something, like a warmth coming towards my heart, mostly.
Okay, but now would
Starts
you
from the
please
stomach and it
adopt
comes
the
towards the
following
heart.
language that will make it easier and not harder? May I teach you and everyone?
Yes.
I am in process of loving myself more and more. Do you get the difference of I love myself, where part of even me doing it for 30 years, part of me goes, really, are you? Because the mind is dubious. The mind always has a counterpart. But if you do progressive oriented language, everybody, can we say it one more time together? I am
in the process of
loving myself more and more.
loving myself more and more.
You avoid, the mind cannot fight it, correct?
Yeah.
The mind
Yes.
will not have any ambiguous response. You get it,
Mhm.
Ayushi? So then it will be easier. The yoga is going to be much easier if you don't fight it. If there's no part that we give a chance to fight. Very good. And of course, we could continue this, but I think you got an idea. This is emotion yoga, and in an emotional intelligence training with us, you will get a chance to practice many of these and to even give a little space to some of them that have been scaring you most in the past, because needless to say, fear and anger, in a way, this is the title of this evening. I choose that name for this event because they're like the two are the core ones where all the other emotions are based upon. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Let this be rather a discussion point. Could you give an example of an emotion that now, as you think about it, is actually fear, deeper down? Or please ask a question. How would this blah, blah emotion be related to anger or fear? Give us, you can play devil advocate. Is there any emotion that you think is completely disrelated to anger or fear? Pooja?
I want to understand the question again. You are trying to ask that what is that emotion which leads to anger and fear and anxiety?
No, which one is not related to anger? What we're saying is there's two base emotions.
So when you are satisfied and when you have gratitude, you don't have any fear or
these are the positive emotions, but all the dilemmas, all the horrible emotions are a form of
The
fear
emotions,
and
we
a
don't
form of
like
anger.
them.
But form of fear or fear of anxiety, of uncertainty, anxiety of getting sick. It's a fear. It's a deep down fear which we need to find, and it's based on a belief, and we need to reformulate it. Yes? And anger is a difficult one. Many people will come to emotional intelligence and would like to be better with their anger. Can I see hands? So anger is the easiest one to understand as an animal emotion, because think about it. I'm angry because she said this, or he's doing this, or she's not doing what I would like her to do. I mean, that's ridiculous, isn't it?
Or even anger itself. It is
anger
like
is basically when you can't
reacting
control.
to what we do or not do.
Sorry, Layla. But anger is actually when you can't control something. It's out of your control. So you are angry, whether it's your children, whether it's at work, when you can't control a situation or what people think or what's happening. So it's when it's not in your control, it comes out as an emotion of anger.
Yes. Which again is a waste of energy, because let's build the serenity of accepting what we can't change. There's so many things we can change. So let's look at what we can change and not waste energy on what we cannot change. We can't change the other person to start off with. Which wife has ever been able to change their husband? Which husband has ever been able to change the wife? Dr. Suhindra, you have such a nice smile, right? No, so stop it. Wasted energy. Focus on what you can change. Then go to your wife and say, could you please just today do this for me? And see whether she can say yes to your positive suggestion. Yes, Dr. Suhindra?
A joke come, manufacturing defect.
Joy will come.
You said you cannot change your wife, right? So manufacturing defect.
Nice one, nice one, nice one. Now, I would like to give you one more skill, because we are always very committed to give you as many skills as possible, practical hands-on tools that you put into a bag of tools. And this bag of tools, with every hour that you spend on emotional intelligence, will become richer and bigger and more amazing. Would you agree that the first step to change these emotional phenomena that sometimes are warps? Let me just quickly throw this in. For example, guilt is a warp. It has so many layers to it. That's why it's so techy and people can't even identify that they're stuck in guilt. Guilt is so often part of this complex, and of course also rooted in fear. I mean, fear and guilt is fear is guilt, is so related. So the sooner you notice, the better. Who agrees? The sooner I notice, the better. So let's get one more amazing tool that hopefully after tonight you will use for the rest of your life. Yes, Layla?
Thank you, Dr. Doris. So what we are going to do when we notice that we are stuck with the emotion which is not serving us the best, so we are going to do what? We take our right hand and we
Everybody.
tap on the left shoulder and say, oh, I noticed. I noticed. Say it with me, please. Take your hand and tap on the left shoulder. Oh, I noticed. I noticed I was angry.
I can say the same stupid thing for the 10th time to my husband.
I noticed.
And then you say, I noticed, with a little smile. In this very moment, already something is changing. I again got very frustrated about this thing that put a very valuable input. I can't change it. So I know what waste of my chemicals in my body to waste some emotion on something I can't change. I noticed. Everybody?
I noticed.
I know. Oh, here I am. You know, the child
Nice
is not
smile.
doing that. The husband is not doing that. And I get angry. Oh, I noticed.
I noticed.
And then please don't beat yourself up. See, that's the amazing thing about emotional intelligence. Trying to stop it, it does not work. Trying to eliminate the emotions you don't want to feel anymore does not work. Trying to suppress it. Who's tried to suppress anger and it became more?
I used to.
Yeah. So you say, I don't want to be angry. I don't want to be angry. I don't want to be angry.
And suddenly, like a bomb, explode.
Doesn't work. But what works is when you go, I
noticed.
I noticed. And that's enough for that second. Already it's called in from the knowledge of neuro-linguistic programming, it's called state interrupt. Yeah. You interrupt this thing because you have the intelligence and it's not very difficult. Everybody, one more time.
I noticed. I noticed.
Now, at least if you continue to shout or if you continue to cry, at least you do it consciously. It's okay. Shout and cry. You can apologize. Hopefully you don't harm anybody else. But for yourself, shout and cry as much as you want, because guess what? Laughing and crying consciously is something we do in emotional intelligence.
Yes.
We laugh and laugh for long, much longer than we did today. And we consciously cry about some emotional pain that many times people experience buried in their heart about something horrible that did happen. We are not saying it didn't happen. It did happen and it deserves a cry, but it doesn't deserve your vicious circle thinking pattern attentions. It needs to just be felt and dropped. Who agrees?
Yeah. And instead
these
of
are-
making, yeah.
Yes,
please.
Layla?
So I was adding up, instead of getting those emotions stuck in our body, we are going to feel them, experience them, and release them. And that's how we can shift our state of mind. And in this course, we are learning how to use our emotions resourcefully, the way it works for us the best.
We have some slides for you.
Thank you.
Oops, sorry, this is always stuck.
Nice.
Okay. So when you study emotional intelligence, when you take up a course of emotional intelligence, and we very much recommend for you not to just read books. It's a good thing, Ayushi, don't misunderstand, but come and let's experience together the phenomena that have made us feel less than satisfied, angry, fearful, and how we can change them, because we can. And there's one amazing thing that you will look very much for, that please would you look forward to, is we do something called the happiness booster. It's amazing. You will literally learn how to increase happiness and how to have access to happiness more and more and more. Who would like to increase happiness?
Always.
Who thinks you can feel more happy in your life? Who believes you can feel more happy? Now, don't lie to yourself, because guess what? There's some part that goes, oh my God, maybe I will be too happy. What are other people thinking if I'm so happy? Maybe I should be a little guilty because everybody else is guilty. I tell you, it's going to come up. Just being happy, there's immediately some other part that goes, see, Parul, you know, yes? So it needs to be learned. It's yoga. Yoga. We need to practice feeling happy, practice feeling happy, practice feeling happy, despite what goes on in this interpretation machine. So, if you choose to come with us one day or 2 days, and the next date is the 13th and 14th of August. These are some of the skills. How about everybody read one out loud?
Pinpoint and understand emotions correctly.
Just speak up out loud so we do
Distinguish
it together as a unity.
distinguish between natural and out of place emotions.
Setting and reaching EI outcomes, your outcomes for emotional intelligence.
Interrupt, stimulus response, stop and reflect.
Accept and change.
Ah, Raja Lakshmi is back.
Successfully cure fear, anxiety, and phobia.
The emotional health model.
Now we can, of course, not start to explain this to you. It's a whole session. It's 1.5 hours. After that, you will totally understand what happens on a cellular level in a way that you can transform it and strengthen moving forward, satisfaction, inspiration, and at least the 10 emotions that you will do in the happiness booster using the rainbow of emotions. Designing positive emotions in a way where you can, for everyone, it's very different. For everyone, relaxation is different stage priority, ease different state priority. Some of us can say yes, joy. Some of us can just not yet say joy. I really allow more and more joy in my life. Happiness, everybody seems to agree. So you will design 10, minimum of 10 emotions that you will literally have be part of what we call the rainbow of emotions. Next one.
Language that disempowers, language that empowers. One of my
Insecurities.
favorite ones.
Yeah. It needs to be practiced, needs to be clear. So insecurities and doubts can become assertiveness and compassion. And the next one, Ayushi?
The inner neutral place, your evolved you. Actually, I can't speak it properly.
Who would like to access more, practice more, have available more, what you may call neutral place? Who would like that more? So that you actually, in some way, can live your life from that place. Which doesn't mean we don't have to feel pain. We are humans, we will have to feel pain. Which doesn't mean you will never be sad. You're human, you've got to feel sad. However, feel it from a conscious place, from a neutral place. I love crying. I am so blessed to have been part of these emotional intelligence meditations of crying for 3 hours with 50 people in one room and more. Yes, Ayushi?
I just wanted to add something. So in the beginning, I told you about my psychologist, right? So he says this wonderful thing about emotions. He says that whenever you're experiencing an emotion, what you should do is you should live it and leave it. Once you start carrying it with yourself, that's when it becomes a problem.
Nice one. You'll enjoy the practice of the neutral place, Ayushi. And rather than focusing on not carrying it, building that evolved you is really an amazing exercise. So altogether, you will apply these EI tools in your life. And in order to make it hands-on, spot-on, very simple, there's 5 keys that you will get in those 2 days that you practice inside, outside, turn around, side, left side, right side, inside, out, outside, in, and you will have them. They will be with you for the rest of your life. People have given us feedback of having increased. We used to do an oh yeah, you will, for the ones of you who may join the emotional intelligence facilitator, you will get what is called the emotional intelligence EQ test, not the ones that are super expensive and they do lots of psychometrics, but the ones that are hands-on, spot-on, skill-based in a way that you will be able to change your life and at the same time notice that emotions are simply signals for us for doing something differently. That's what Tanya said to me in 87. And you know what? It is still so very true. Whenever any of these emotional symptoms, disasters, clusters is hunting you, and it's coming back and it's coming back. That's what all of these negative emotions do. It's a signal for doing something differently. And we need somebody else to help us to see that, to go through it, to help us out of it. Because if we couldn't solve it by ourselves yet, it's not gonna happen. So you can do something about it, and of course enroll in a one-on-one session with me or Hanadi or Layla. And the best way to go is for you to come on the 13th. It's not allowed. My mouse is not doing what I want it to do. Ooh! So the 13th and 14th of August is a Saturday and Sunday. For the ones of you who are in Dubai, you can see me and Layla there in person, and probably Hanadi and one or two more will be online. And now the biggest, most amazing thing that we offer only one time a year, because Dr. Doris is only one person and has only one body. Otherwise, we would certainly do it more. I believe, will you also be with us there, Layla? You are in the NLP, no?
Yes.
But please feel welcome. Nara will be there. Layla will be there. So live at Illuminations, and this one, we encourage you if you can come in person, but online, totally possible. It will happen. You will get all the experiences because you see the others in the group room going through it, and you will basically learn how to conduct a minimum of the 2 hours or a 2-day emotional intelligence training, the same that you have gone through on the 13th and 14th. So only people who have done Emotional Intelligence Foundation with us will come to this facilitator training. You will leave this facilitator training guaranteed 100%. Being able to, you can already schedule now. Hanadi, did we schedule?
Yes, yes.
The minimum one, I have had people 1 week after take up their 2-hour event. Of course, people who are already group leaders or help people in many ways, like for example, Dr. Sutendra, you can easily conduct the 2 days the way we teach you in the EI Foundation. And that's what this 3-day training does. It literally will encourage you to lead the rest of the group through the experiences. It will, we will ask you to lead the laughter meditation, and we are all there with you, helping you. We will ask you to, speak about the childhood wound in a way that people can be more aware of a deep pain they carry in their chest and experience it together. So we will basically teach you how to teach a 2-hour minimum, 2-day maximum EI workshop. Now, what questions may we answer? Any question you have, or any comment on this event here today? What did you enjoy today? What did you learn?
Parol, yes.
I must say that I totally enjoyed the session. It was wonderful indeed. And I like the energy and the charm that you guys carry throughout the session, and like made it really interactive, made everyone participate. So it was totally worth it, I would say, for me to be a part of this. I had one simple question. Say, I like the idea of, being aware of the kind of negative emotion someone like I'm going through, for example. So yeah, like the idea of tapping and being aware of that negative emotion. And what next? What will happen after? What if I'm still not out of this.
Which
I'm aware.
is the emotion that you are working with, please?
Stress, maybe most of the time.
What?
Stress.
Stress.
Stress. Yeah. Stress is actually not an emotion in and of itself, as it has to do with the way we think about things. Is your stress mainly related to time?
Yes, time management is one factor.
Yeah,
Yes.
so it has to do with how we handle time, how we structure time, and how we think about time differently. So definitely, if you are in the course and you tell us this is what you would like to have, we will put this in, because you are very correct, Parul. Stress mostly is related to how we think about time. So it's a little more than just an emotion yoga to step in and then to step out. We literally need to learn how to prioritize, how to delegate, and how to step into the you that has already successfully accomplished what you want to do, and to line up the steps in a way that it's doable. Are you able to join us on the 13th and 14th of August, Parul?
Is it in person in Dubai?
There, you can choose to be in person in Dubai, or you can do online, or you can do a mix.
Okay. Okay, wonderful. Great to know about it. And I would definitely check my schedule if I'm able to make it. Yeah.
Saturday, Sunday.
Okay, wonderful.
Illuminations
Nice.
always does it in a way that people can do it, of course, after and
Awesome.
before their work. Ayushi, can you join? You look like ready.
I am ready, but I'm not sure if I'll be able to join, because I will be starting my like profession by the end of this month.
Oh, I see. You know, I think we can just say, how about we cheer emotional intelligence together and knock off the recording, so that we have a little more privacy when we do individual discussions. Can we all increase our emotional intelligence and cheer together? Emotional intelligence!
Yay!
Emotional
Intelligence! Yay!
Emotional intelligence. And may the ideas of tonight go with you into the weeks and months and years to come.
And we look forward to see you with us in this upcoming events.
So can we stop? Yes.